story started out with us moving our 9 young heifer calves out into the big pen where they can all be together in a group. This makes calf chores much easier for us. Moving day is really exciting for the calves. They've never had this much space to run around in before. We used a halter and lead rope to get our calves out of their smaller pens and into the big main pen. It's a little hard to lead a calf that weighs more than you do around. They'll sometimes decide that they don't want to go where you're going, and unfortunately, you can't stop them because you're not big enough. This is a clip of Daniel spreading manure with our Ford 8600. He says it's not as easy as it looks. Mama went to Pennsylvania to move Grandpa and Grandma up to Michigan this year. Jana spent a lot of the time in the shop with Daddy. Also, at the same time, we had a hoof trimmer come. Here's him trimming one of our cow's hooves. His hoof trimming trailer comes in extremely handy. It can move up and down, and it holds the cows restrained so that they can't get hurt and that he doesn't get hurt either. More manure hauling, this time from the dry cow lot. We always have lots of projects to do in the shop. This time Daddy had to work on the spreader. We had perfect snowman making weather in March. This is a giant snowman that we built. That's the skid loader bucket in the background. Planting oats with our smallest tractor, the Ford 8N. Unfortunately, they didn't grow fast enough to be cut with our first cutting of hay. However, now we know that we can do this in the future. Tearing this house down has been a project throughout the winter. We took most of it down during this workday in April. Nice weather means it's time to plant potatoes. We planted 35 rows. It was a lot of potatoes and a lot of work. Clearing a fence row along one of our cornfields. We used a pole saw to cut partially through this limb, and then we couldn't reach it. So we had to get a chain over the limb so we could pull it down with the skid loader. Just so you know, when you're in the skid loader trying to see the person up above you who's cutting branches, it's really hard to know what they want you to do. Playing tug of war with a tree. After we finished clearing the fence row and hauled away all the wood that we could use for firewood, we burned all the scrap. We are renting the red spreader from Walkie Ag to haul our heifer bed pack manure onto one of our cornfields. It worked really well. Work continues on the junk guy's place. It's looking a lot better. This bouquet is one of the many that Mama raised this year. First time across the road for the cows. They were so excited. They couldn't wait to be out on pasture. The things Polly has to put up with. At least she's happy about it. Fencing with an audience. These heifers are pretty intrigued with what's going on. First cutting of hay. Cows heading out to pasture, and heifers enjoying their pasture. The first pass with the disc through the cornfield. The cover crop did extremely well this year. Hopefully the corn can do as well. After hours and hours of working on this corn planter, it's finally ready to use. It took a while to get the kinks out, but it planted all our corn. Time to mix the foliar spray to spray on all our hay fields. Daniel's getting ready to go out and spray them now. Filling the planter corn boxes and fertilizer tanks is a family affair. It took all of us to get everything mixed up and ready to go. Corn planting continues. This tractor almost burned up. Thankfully, Daddy was out there and was able to stop the fire, almost before it got started. The cows heading across the road to spend the night on pasture. Our Pinto 6020 mixer wagon got new screws this year. They replaced the old tornado augers with the new hurricane augers. They make a world of difference. There's the new augers with knives being installed. The knives are what cuts the bale into pieces. And there they are in action. Daddy got the Intimidator stuck in this drain hole by our garden. He was driving along, and I guess he just got too close to the edge, and down it went. It may look nice and green in this video, but we're in a drought, and if it doesn't let up soon, we're going to lose our corn crop. Second cutting of hay. Laurel and I wrapped almost the whole cutting by ourselves. There's still no rain. It's starting to look bad around here. Hopefully the rains come soon. I got to spend a week in Boston in July. I was there to help with kids clubs and VBS. Besides that, I saw Niagara Falls and got to walk the Freedom Trail. Third cutting of hay. And don't think Daniel's the only one who can do that. I can do it as well. We raised over 200 broilers this year. They did extremely well. The rain finally came. Thank God. I think it may have saved our crops. Everybody is so happy. Another storm on the way. Even with the rain, we lost our biggest field of corn. It was just too dry for too long. We're planning to plant oats and sorghum, and hopefully we can either bale or chop that, and it will replace the loss of the silage. It's butcher day for the chickens. There's a little chicken catcher riding along on the trailer. In August, we took our first overnight trip away from the farm since 2017 when we started milking. We visited the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter in Kentucky. Both the museum and the Ark Encounter are absolutely amazing. If you've never visited them, I would highly encourage you to go and see them. They are incredible. Here we're working up the worst part of our pasture. We're going to plant it to oats and turnips and let the cows graze it late into the winter. Next spring, we'll plant it to something else. Because of the drought, we had to buy hay from another farmer. It looks very nice. Around a week later, we made our fourth cutting hay. It also looks nice. We ran our 13 springers, young cows who have not had their first calf yet, through the parlor. It took a while, but they all went through it twice, although all the farmers got very much splattered with manure in the process. First calves of the fall calving season, a set of twin beef bulls. Daniel's cow, Star, being extremely protective of her calf. Daddy had another run-in with the drainage pond by the garden, this time with the Ford 8N digging potatoes. He got to the end of the row, went to put on his brakes. Unfortunately, the brakes aren't terribly good, and so he just kept right on going over the edge of the hole. Luckily, nothing was hurt. Moving our 4 oldest heifer calves over to Don's to their new separate pens. They'll stay in these pens until all of them are weaned and they're big enough to go into the big pen. This is Jana's chicken Speckles. It's time to cut the sorghum and oats. They did very well, much better than we expected. Also, we are chopping what we have of the corn silage. It won't be terribly great quality, but it's better than none. The process of bagging silage. This time we had a side-loading bagger instead of our normal front-loading bagger. The cows, for their first time, are out on turnips. They like them a lot. Baling sorghum and oats. The bales look very good. The silage bagging setup, green and red. We got away from the farm for our second time this year. We visited our friends, Yales, who own a pumpkin patch in Illinois. We had a great time there. We're drilling oats into our pastures again. Hopefully this time that they'll come up before it's time to cut in the spring and give us more hay. One of our heifer calves unfortunately got pneumonia. We treated her with penicillin, but we can't keep her. The brand new augers in the mixer wagon stopped working. It appears someone at the factory did not finish welding them, and the spot welds that were holding them broke. Luckily, it was fixable.
Aw, you little cutie pie.
Gypsy had puppies. Everybody is so excited. She had 10, but unfortunately only 7 of them made it. They are so cute. And that's our year in review. Thanks for watching.